your spiritual. And think about, are you where you want to be in these places? Are you living up to your full potential? And then when you think about, are you up to your full potential, what do you want to improve in those areas? Where do you want to be? Where do you want to go? Be bold with the decisions you have. You're going to reach the goals that you set for yourself. So aim high, aim bold. And then I want you to think about, what is the habit that is holding you back in those areas? Because it is a habit. And if you don't realize what it is, that's why you got to realize there's a habit holding you back in some areas. Something that you're repeatedly doing that is preventing you from reaching the next level of success. And when the first step it is, you start realizing it, then you can take the next step, which is to reflect. Reflect. Charles Duhigg's book, The Power of Habit, is at the back table. Very great book. If you haven't read it yet, I suggest reading it. But he talks about there's 3 parts to a habit. There's the cue, the trigger, the thing that causes you to have the action in the first place. Maybe you're a smoker and you smell the cigarette and it makes you want to smoke. Maybe you're a cookier and you smell a cookie and it makes you want to eat cookies. Maybe you're a shopper and you see something's on sale and there's limited amounts, so it makes you want to buy something right then. There's something that triggers that behavior. When you know what the trigger is, you can be more mindful, more present in your mind to start taking new actions. Then you have the behavior, and then you have the reward that reinforces that behavior. And we're going to talk more about that in a moment. Hey, it's my son. Hi, Daddy's on stage. So once you know that you've reflected on why you have the habit, and you're more mindful so you can take new action, we need to work on reprogramming the mind. Knowing information is great, getting inspired is great, but we've got to reprogram the mind. We've got to get down into that subconscious. We've got to think about, why do we want to make this change in the first place? If someone just said, Kenny, I need you to quit eating pizza, I'd be like, yeah, good luck with that one. But you say, Kenny, I need you to quit eating starches because you could jeopardize the health and lives of your family. That's important. That emotional charge behind that why is really important. So I want you to think about, what's the why behind you're wanting to change this. And then you're going to, this is not fun, but you want to amplify that pain that you could have if you don't change the habit. You want to amplify that pain and feel it. What would it be like if I let my family down? Then I want you to go on the other side, and I want you to think about the pleasure. What would it be like if I really stepped into this? If I really had better health? If I could do more, provide more for my family? Feel the energy behind that. When you have the pain and the pleasure and the why, now you're ready to take the next action, which is really easy, guys. It's replace. The best way to break an old habit is to replace it with a new one. So you know what your old action is, you define what that is. Replace it with a new action that is more fitting. And that's it. That's the replace. It's that simple. And for those of you who think, maybe I don't have a habit that I need to replace, well, no habit, no action is actually a habit itself. Right? So the 5th step, probably one of my favorites, is the reward. So you do things, you've got to celebrate all victories. Far too often, we do things in our life that we work really hard on, we accomplish it, and then we're starting to look at the next thing we've got to do. We don't really celebrate that victory. We look at someone else and what they're doing. We don't really celebrate that victory. So we got to make sure that we're celebrating all victories. We don't want to wait till a later date to celebrate. We want to do it immediately so you can program your mind, your subconscious, to take those new actions. Reaffirming that for yourself. And then make sure that you're doing a positive reward. You know, if you're trying to lose weight, rewarding yourself with Fruit Loops or a cupcake, probably a bad idea, right? So those are the 5 steps. You want to realize, you want to reflect, you want to reprogram, you want to replace, and you want to reward. When you own your habits, you can rock your life. So I want you to do something right now with me as I'm getting ready to wrap this up. I want you to take a deep breath in and let out. Sometimes we don't just take the moment, the time to reflect on what's most important to us. I want you to close your eyes for a brief moment. And I want you to imagine one area of your life, whether it's your health, your finances, your family, your career, your social, your spiritual. I want you to imagine for a moment, 1 year from now, being in a completely different place in that area. I want you to visualize, whether it's you're trying to make more money, you're trying to do something in your career, whatever it is. Imagine that it's true and that it's far better. You've achieved far more in this past year than you ever have in your life before. Make that vision bold. Make that vision bright. Make that vision real. Feel it. I want you to go ahead and open your eyes, put a big smile on your face, and look at your neighbor and say, awesome. that feel good? I recently worked on this book, Own Your Habits, Rock Your Life, because I believe everyone has the potential to elevate, to amplify. I'm kicking off a new movement called Growth Amplifiers. I believe everyone has light inside of them, something that's a gift that was given to them, and they could shine it out for the world to inspire, innovate, and ignite other people to light up, making the world a better place. But unfortunately, we have things that hold us down, that damper us, the challenges we go through on a day-to-day basis, the experiences that we've had that cause us pain, that sometimes dim that brightness, take it down, make us shoot a little lower, make us not try as hard. But as an amplifier, if you have that signal in your heart, you're going to work on amplifying it. You're going to work on making it louder, making it brighter, shining it out so that the whole world can see it and you can be the leader for others. So what I'd like for everyone to do now is to go ahead and stand up. I'm going to ask you to say something loud, with excitement, with conviction. What is he going to ask us to say? It's not bad. I want you to raise your hand and say it with me. We're going to do it 3 times. And when you say it 3 times, you're going to be affirming that you're not going to leave here today and be a statistic. You're not just going to hear information and be inspired. You're actually going to be a growth amplifier. You're going to own your habits, and you're going to rock your life. Does that sound good? Yeah. All right, so we're going to do this. I want you to do this for yourself. I want you to do this for your family. I want you to do it for everyone here today who has come to this event. This is what we're going to say. We're going to say, I am an amplifier. I'm going to do it one time. You're going to repeat after me. Sound good? Yeah. All right. I am an amplifier. I am an amplifier. I am an amplifier. Give each other high fives. Congratulate yourselves for stepping up to the plate, getting out of the comfort zone, and making things real. Right now, you're an important part in your life. You're paving your future. You guys can go ahead and have a seat. I want this year to be your best year ever. I want you to take this information and shine it off, be the best leader that you can be, and I want you to own your habits and rock your life. Thank you.
Kenny, you are a rock star. Woo! Man, I wish my husband was here to hear this. Actually, never mind. He's supposed to be home taking down decorations, right? Time is a-ticking. And Kenny, if my husband doesn't have those decorations down by the time I get home, you know what he's having for dinner? Fruit Loops. Yes, I heard it from Kenny. Yes, we are. All right. Our next speaker is by far one of the best speakers in Jacksonville. I know because I have seen him at work, and he is amazing. He is award-winning, energetic, that's an understatement, and is sure to capture you, and his charisma and charm is out of this world. So question, are you ready to ignite your finances? Uh-huh. Like some of you, Will Hayes has read all the books there are on wealth. He attended seminars, and yes, he even sold Amway. Uh-huh. After his most recent network marketing venture, where he put together a successful sales team that surpassed $2 million in sales, he woke up one day and he realized he had over $90,000 in consumer debt and $60 to his name. Yes, he did, and came to the conclusion that he was 50 years old and broke. Would you like to hear how Will turned things around? Yes. Can Will help you ignite your finances? Well, here to present, I Cracked the Code. Put your hands together and welcome Will Hayes.
Collectors, they ring my phone. They bother me when I'm not at home. Ain't got no time to be fooling around. Feet hit the floor, then I get on down.
That's my song.
'Cause I want money, lots and lots of money. I want the pie in the sky. Whoa, I want money, lots and lots of money. So don't be asking me why. I wanna be rich.
Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, I wanna be rich.
We got 15 minutes of glory coming. Hi. How's everybody doing? Great. Show of hands. Who saw me last time? Only a few of you. Who hasn't seen me before? Oh, wow. I'm not as famous as I thought I was. Well, good morning. My name is Will Hayes. Thank you, Maribel, for that awesome introduction. A little stressing, though, when you talk about them $90,000. How's that? Better? Okay. It really stressed me out. Question. Does anybody have any financial goals for 2019? That's not uncommon. Everybody has goals for the new year. I always had weight loss or physical fitness goals or some sort of financial goal. Who wants to ignite your finances 2019? Okay, great. Half of you. Let's just dive right in. Let's just dive in. Before we dive in, let's go through some rules. Okay, no, I am not recruiting for an investment opportunity, a network marketing business, and this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. Put your checkbooks away. What I would like to do is share my personal story and some things I've learned along the way that may can help you if you decide you want to ignite your finances. Everybody has different strategies, different plans, so it's not a one-size-fits-all. But this shoe really fits me. Let's go over some facts real quick. We got to get through the numbers. According to CNN, and the numbers haven't changed since last time, 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. 50% has zero set aside for retirement, and 34% of Americans have zero in savings. That's pretty devastating. 95% of the wealth in the world is owned by 5% of the people. And on the flip side, 95% of the people own 5% of the wealth. What does that look like? Got a little illustration for you. Let's take 100 people and $100. That means that 5 people are sharing $95. And you have 95 people sharing $5. If you really break it down to simplicity, it's kind of alarming, but that's what it is worldwide. I was on the 95% side. So what does that mean? That means you have a 95% chance of being taught finances by 95%er. There's a 95% chance that 95% of people in this room are 95%ers. There's a 95% chance that I am a 95%er. I was always a spender. Started when I was little. Take yourself back to you as a little kid. You get that dollar. Of course, you're excited. You got some money to spend. You go in the store, and you'll sit there for 15, 20 minutes. Can't decide. You're trying to buy the whole store with $1. You still see it today. I see a father and a son in the store, and I just crack up. I'm like thinking, man, you're teaching that kid how to be broke. But I stood there with $1, looking, trying to get the whole store, and I always go to the rack of candy that I could not afford. You don't have enough money for that. Okay. Do you have more money? No. Okay, I only have $1 to spend. I got a few more seconds. Hurry up. Let's get this thing bought out. I'll go to a rack and I'll just get the most I can get for $1. Paid $1, walk out the store broke with things I don't want. When it's a spending stop. For me, it never stopped. I always had a good job. Money coming in wasn't really the problem for me. Everybody has jobs. There's a lot of people making six-figure incomes, and they'll tell you they're making a six-figure income. Here's a tip. If somebody tells you how much money they make, they're broke. Learn the language of the wealthy. Wealthy people talk about net worth. After the money flows through you, they talk about what's left over. They never talk about how much money Sam Walton made. They told you what he was worth. The Forbes says it tells you what they're worth. So start off with the language of speaking of the wealthy. That's a good start right there. But yeah, I was broke. I always had money to spend, whether it's cash, credit lines. I had access to money. I had everything I wanted, the fancy cars, fancy clothes, go out. I did whatever I wanted to do. I never lived in scarcity. Problem. My son does something. We need a lawyer. And between the 4 households of his immediate family, we could not come up with $7,500 to pay for the lawyer, the retainer fee. We had to look through the phone book, and after a few days, we found somebody that would take payments from 4 families. I was infuriated. I said, this will never happen again. Shortly thereafter, went to a hotel, looked at a network marketing meeting, got really excited. We all joined. We made a lot of money. Not many people make money in network marketing business, so I was happy that we were able to do that. My profit margin was in high 5 figures. I was good to go. Problem, my debt tripled. Did you know that making more money doesn't mean you pay your bills on time? Some of y'all know that. Some of y'all already know that. My debt tripled. And I sat back and I was looking one day, and I counted the money that went through my hands. It was over $200,000 net cash over the previous 2 years. And just like Maribel said, this is like 6 years ago. At $60 to my name, $90,000 in consumer debt, and I was living in an apartment. I got really depressed. Question, will you put money in a candy machine that's out of order? The candy's there, you can see it, but the machine is out of order. Ladies and gentlemen, I was the machine and I was out of order. The goodness was inside of me, the goodness is inside of you. Rule number 1, you have to get things in order first before you put the money in. Although I was behind in my bills, creditors are calling me, I knew at that point I didn't need more money. That's where I started to differ. Most people would say, hey, I need more money. Oh, you had money. What'd you do with the money you had? Well, I just need more money right now to handle this. I backed away from that. I said, I'm that candy machine. I got to get myself in order. I have a friend, Quincy. Quincy had every program known to mankind. Real estate, investments, all the CD programs, Tony Robbins, you name it, Quincy has a library. I'll give you his number. If you want some information, you can call him and you can tell him I sent you. He's got a library at his house. I called Quincy up and says, Quincy, do you have The Challenge to Succeed by Jim Rohn? If you have listened to it, 4 CD set, start your year off with that. I listened to this thing like 50 times already, front to back. I made my car a mobile classroom. This is all I listened to. There's a lot of code in there, a lot of code, and you have to listen to it in order to break it out. Nobody's going to tell you flat out, this is what you need to do. If you need to be told what you have to do, 1, you're not on a journey. So if somebody told me to read a book, I'm like, I don't have time to read that book. I need to get out and make some money to pay these bills. Okay, what will you give me if I read the book? I don't get any money for reading the book. I had a wage mentality, whereas I do this, I get this. I do this, I get this. If that's your mentality, that's that candy machine we're talking about. First thing you have to get yourself in order. Get your life in order. Get your mind right first. Because I have to make all decisions. We have to make the decisions right. Okay. It mentioned a book in the CD series, The Richest Man in Babylon. If you haven't read it, put that on your reading list. Read or download that book immediately. It's still on my phone. Read that book, blew my mind. The first thing I learned, in order to preside over riches, you have to be faithful in the amount of few. You have to be faithful in the amount of few. I immediately quit the network marketing business. I just lost my desire for it. Because picture yourself in a hotel, and there's a couple up there. Well, yeah, we had six-figure incomes, but we were so far in debt, didn't really have any time, and they were about to repossess our home. And then this business came along. That's the hook. You can't. When I listen to it now, I couldn't support the message anymore. I can't put money into a candy machine, expect to get money out of it when the machine's out of order. More money is not going to fix a money problem. You should be able to work it while the amount of few. That's just the law. Whatever you focus on will expand. Whatever you focus on will expand. So for myself, I never focused on getting, although I had a lot of debt, I never focused on it. Because if you focus on, will expand. Anybody watch pro football? What about that Kaepernick deal? One guy kneeling, what they focus on? This one guy. What happened? Did it not expand to the league? Did it not expand to the presidency? Did it not expand? Things just keep expanding when you focus on them. Look at police brutality. Look at social injustice. Look at the things people focus on. The media knows what they're doing. Whatever you focus on, it will expand. So I never focused on being debt-free. You know what I focused on? Prosperity. I want to be prosperous in my life. Debt's going to be part of it. I want to be prosperous. I learned this from reading. Anybody do affirmations? I got one for you. And I wrote my own. Because I am disciplined with managing my finances. I have created streams of income and a 4-cup system to disperse my cash flow that enables me to meet all financial obligations, grow my money, help others by giving, and for me to enjoy the fruit of my labor. I own my time, and I enjoy my life. If you make up an affirmation, write it as you already have it. Write it as it's yours right now. I wrote this many years ago when I started practicing my system. Didn't have 2 nickels to rub together, but I wrote it down. Because if I write down, I will be disciplined with my money. I'm only acknowledging that I'm not right now. You have to write it down as it is. I can't stress that enough. That's where you start. Wrote that down, and I just developed a system. Would you like to see it? Word of caution. This will not work for you unless you have the philosophy that backs it up. I read the book, Richest Man in Babylon, like 10 times. And from reading that, I developed the philosophy that drives the machine. If you don't have the philosophy, it's not going to work. You have to fix the candy machine first. You get me? Get the machine in order. Then when you put money in the machine, the candy comes out. It all starts with you. So your 3 takeaways today: study, practice, and then teach. You say that. Study, practice, teach. One more time. Study, practice, teach. That's right. Because when you study The Richest Man in Babylon, it'll talk about the law that governs wealth. It'll talk about the laws, the way money flows. Because when you step into the financial world, you got to remember, 95% of people are broke. So there's a 95% chance that financial advisor you're talking to is a 95%er. He will talk to you about strategy. He will talk to you about what that company does. Once I started reading and got my candy machine together, I can listen to anything. And if it aligns with the law, I'll do it. If it doesn't align with the law, I know it. Candy machine good now. There are four quadrants to my life. Health, time, social. This is going to church, friends, family. These are the most important things in your life. You can't get more time, health. All of this is free. The fourth quadrant is wealth, and how wealthy you are determines what you can do with your time. It determines what kind of medical insurance you're going to have. It's going to determine what you can do with your family. Can you help your kids out? Can you help people out? This is what's really important to me. Now, I want to give you a shift, a mental shift for 2019, a small mental shift. You ready? Everybody, who's in business for themselves? Everybody should raise your hand. Everyone is an entrepreneur. Everyone is in business. You, ladies and gentlemen, you are the CEO. And this is where I made my shift. I'm the CEO. My business is the house. You go out and you work. You go out and run your business, you go out and work your job, whatever you do, but that money that you get, you bring it back and you run your home with it. This is your business. You go broke in your house by having too much cable TV. You go broke in your house by spending too much money on food. The money you make is your operating capital. So when that guy tells you he makes $200,000 a year, he's broke. That's operating capital. When you put that money into the house and as a CEO and you disperse that money, every business at the end of the year, you have to show a profit. We're in December, so now you went to your jobs for the whole year. How much money, when you flow it out, are you showing a profit for the end of the year? How much debt are you carrying? What decisions did you make along the course of the year? You got to go back and look at these things. You got to write these things down. Now, the cups is real simple. There's only 4 things you can do with money. I can provide, have fun, give, and grow. If your money flows into all 4 cups, you will never be broke. If you drink from the 4 cups, you will never be broke. You got to learn how to flow your money. The percentages represent how much should be going in each cup. And the last 5%, put some money in your pocket and walk around. Feel success. Feel like you're the CEO of your business and that your money is flowing right. No company is going to just wing their budget. You shouldn't wing your budget. Now, when I first got started, I had to put 96% in my Provide cup. And your Provide cup is going to be broken down to necessities, services, and debts. I stopped all my services and took that money and started focusing on debt. But the key thing is you want to get into a flow. Because what you don't want to happen is too much focus on debt, sell everything, pay all the debt off. I tried that, and I ran out of gas, and I was still in debt. Anybody ever try that? You just go at it and just try to pay it all off. It don't work. Because when the debt is gone, then what? It's like losing weight. You put this effort in exercise, and you get down to where you need to be. Have you ever taught yourself how to maintain? That's when people always gain all the weight back. Girl, you eating crab legs? I lost 50 pounds. I'm going to eat me some crab legs tonight. Before you know it, you're back to where you never taught yourself how to maintain. So I teach myself how to maintain by flowing the 4 cups from the beginning. And then once your percentages change, now it's no longer 96%. You want to get this down to 70%. And when you get it right, at the end of it, guess what? You just keep on going. So what's the benefit of flowing? Well, I quit my job back in this past July. So since the last time I spoke here, bought a 30-foot camper, got a nice brand new truck sitting outside. Me and the wife gonna take it to the Keys. Oh, neither one of us have jobs. I can look at my accounts because you have your account set up a certain way. I run out of time. I see the red card, but looking at your face, you want some more. Am I not correct? I tell you what, write this down. Crack the code 2 at Gmail. Crack the code 2 at Gmail. That's my Gmail account. Shoot me an email. My business card is on that back table back there.